how they become successful, and how we can apply it. Right attitudes, how the wealthy have done it. You have the guys that show up and think they're going to pass. They filter your awareness and shape your identity. You can get to the space of being positive. I'm a financially free creator. They literally have this programming ritual. With that version, take that phone call. This is just you in the future. Define your dominant thought. That way they can also upgrade their mental game. The moment you control your thinking, you take back control of your life. How's it going, guys? Welcome back. We're back on the Financial Enabler podcast. And you know, one of the big things I wanted to start doing, and I'm gonna add to it, is not only finance, but also the mindset about finance, right? Finance of wealth, right? This is a big factor. And the more that I dive into understanding how to build wealth and stay wealthy, I realize that it's important to talk about how we think about it. The right attitudes, how the wealthy have done it, how they become successful, and how we can apply it. So with that, I wanted to start with, one of the pivotal things that has applied to me in my life, and that is the quote saying, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." So I'm gonna be talking a lot about this because what I've realized is that the wealthy are able to do it. Athletes do it all the time, right? So it's key for us to apply that on our day to day, right? We want to know, and that way we can become what we think about the most, right? A lot of people are thinking about debt, that's not the way to be, right? That it doesn't put us in the right spot. So I want to give you guys a little backstory. And for those of you who don't know, it really comes down to the book by Napoleon Hill. When he studied Rockefeller, Edison, Ford, Carnegie, all of these, right? He found that all of these guys weren't geniuses. It wasn't their privilege. It wasn't even luck. It was just focus. They focused on the desired outcome, right? In the book, he tells the story of Edwin Barnes, a man who decided he would go into business with Thomas Edison. No job offer, no experience, no qualification, nothing. He just showed up and knocked on that door until it happened, right? He didn't think maybe, he knew, right? And I want you guys to think, especially since most of you guys are a military audience, this is the same attitude that people take when they go to selection. You have the guys that show up and think they're going to pass. And then you have the guys that show up and they're like, you know what? This is what I do. This is what I'm doing in my future. This is where I'm going in my life. And they achieve it. So now we got to start applying that for our day-to-day, to our wealth creation principles. And that way we can get to the same quality of life. So what about you guys? What is the dominant thought in your mind right now? Because the result of it in your life are the receipts of what you're going to be thinking consistently and emotionally and believe in it. So I want to talk about how we change that. So I talk to people about wealth all the time. I talk about people about finances. And what I'm constantly finding is people are thinking about debt. People are thinking, I don't want to worry. People are thinking of, how do I get out? How do I unstick myself? Right? So your thoughts are creating this energy, right? They're directing your actions, right? They filter your awareness and shape your identity, right? So again, if you're constantly thinking, I'm broke, your brain will just filter out the opportunities. If you're thinking, or you should be thinking, I'm building wealth, you might start scanning and create that. You can get to the space of being positive. This is something that I recently got. You want to be scanning for the positive. This is the entire process of auto-suggestion that you're feeding your subconscious. And now, how does this apply with let's say affirmations, right? It's just part of it, right? You guys got to think about like programming the GPS. If you type in debt, where are you going to end up? You're going to end up in debt. So you got to start typing in the other things, typing in the things that are most important. So I'm going to give you guys a 3-step process to align your thoughts with your goals. So the first thing is you got to define your dominant thought. Write down the one thing you want to become. Green Beret, wealthy, flag bearer for my family, whatever. Not just what you want to have, but who you want to be. I'm a financially free creator. I'm the number one strategist in my city. I'm the best dude in my team. I'm the best girl in my group, whatever, right? And you have to start thinking about that on the day to day. It has to become a constant thing. It's a constant process of how you build it into your life. Now, the more detail you give it, right, the one thought, the better. And then they start scanning for it. So I recently heard another guy say that money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere, right? And this is a guy that has seen himself and now portrays himself as wealthy. So now he starts seeing it and it starts becoming real, right? And one thing that I encourage all of you guys to go ask, start asking the people that you respect the most in the military. They're all either doing it or they have done it. Okay. So then feed it daily. You want to create a 60, you could create just a 60-second morning ritual. You could say it aloud. You have to have it written down, visualize it. And you're not just want to convincing the world. You want to reprogram yourself. Again, this is the part that a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, whatever, who cares? I'll tell you, all the wealthy do it. They literally have this programming ritual. They drive it in. They do it for minutes. I know some people that do it for hours a day. I'm not saying you need to do it for hours, but even if you did it for that 1 minute, it would be game changing in your life, right? This might be one of those habits that you already don't have a set that could be life changing. So act in alignment. That's the last thing. I want you to be thinking, what would this version of me do today? Would that version take that phone call? Would they post that video? Would they do that ruck? Would they make that investment? Would they be emotionally unattached from the possibility of what could happen? Or start driving the actions? It's like, how do you treat your spouse? So you just start thinking, what would that person do if I was them? And this is just you in the future. You start building this habit and rhythm so that you can become that person. Okay. You can become that guy, that gal. So what you got to do is that you are not your circumstances. And this is really big, man. Guys, like I just heard a person say that you're not your thoughts, you're not your past. A lot of people are stuck. It's like, oh, I can't make more money. This is all I've ever made. But then the counter to that be like, remember the first job you had. Or if you're just getting your first job, think of it as like you're just getting started. There's so much more that you can do, right? So you become the thoughts that you choose to keep. You want to choose you're a worrier, you're a worrier. You're in debt, you're shy, you're not good with computers, whatever. You could also just say, I'm figuring out computers. I'm wealthy. I'm successful. I am a Green Beret. I am an operator. I am an EOD tech. I'm a pilot. Whatever you want to say, you can become it. Again, tried and true rhythm, right? So you choose the person that you want to become. So with that, your income, your business, your impact, they will rise and fall to meet the level of your dominant belief. Again, start asking people. Go talk to your parents. People, whatever they have thought, whatever they believe about self, always becomes true. It always becomes true. And it's crazy, right? Because then you would think it's like, man, that's all that we have to do. And it truly is. So want to come back to those 3 steps just so I can beat them up one more time. Define your dominant thought. You want to feed it daily and act in alignment and drive that in throughout. So again, I'm going to be adding a little more of these short podcasts, YouTubes into the page just because I really want to start driving more reach to you guys. I want to give some financial value. So I want you guys to know you are not your circumstances. You can become that. So feel free to share this page, right? That way they can also upgrade their mental game. If there's anything you like, make sure you go follow my page on Instagram, The Financial Enabler, right? And I want you guys to remember this. This is in theory. This is a weapon. The moment you control your thinking, you take back control of your life. So we'd love to hear what you guys got to think. Let's keep building and let's start doing some awesome stuff. And I'll catch you guys later.
This podcast is not financial advice, and it only represents the opinions of those participating. Our goal is to get you to your version of financial independence. Please follow and like on every platform.